Hi everybody, today we're going to see how I draw Bunker Jonesy. Okay, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself, so don't worry if you can't see this. This is just for me to try to get the pose down, figure out how I'm going to place them, and to make sure that I have everything in the right place. Once I switch over to Sharpie, you'll be able to see much better. So don't worry about that. But we can talk about posing. I mean, that's kind of why you sketch over and over again. It's just so you can learn to do this drawing, you know? One day you'll learn how to do it, or maybe you already know how to do it. You're looking at mine, you're like, ew, that stinks. But that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And hopefully you got a little better attitude than that, right? Okay. And anyway, once you learn anatomy, you can do this yourself. You can figure out the pose you want to put it in, figure out the things you could see in the front, what you can't see in the back, and then make your own, you know. But until then, just for now, you just hear me out. We'll get started in a second, and we'll have some fun with it. So Bunker Jonesy, huh? I guess he ate old Peely. Old Peely, not O Peely. Sorry, that's my Texas slang coming out right there. Alright, let's see. I guess what I'll do, I kind of wanted to leave this arm just dangling because I want to be able to see that the painting that he's got, well, not painting, but the writing on his arm. So I'm trying not to do anything too dynamic with this arm. But this one, let's do in like a strong pose, like check me out, you know. Let's do something like this, kind of holding his fist up, you know, all strong and defiant. Let's see if I can draw this real quick. I gotta remember the positions, where everything is, and where everything's going to be. Okay, so let's see. It's going to be a square like this. I'm going to draw his pinky in. Right? Even I have to look at it sometimes just to make sure I'm getting it right, because you know what? It's nice to be able to remember this stuff, but we don't always remember 100% right, you know? And that's okay. You know, that's what reference is for. That's what looking in a mirror is for when you draw, to make sure you got everything exactly the way it's supposed to be, because you know, it's better to draw it right than guess at it and be wrong. And sometimes we are, and that's no big deal. But you know, it's good practice to do it correctly. You know, that's the best thing I could say. So let's see. I've got his body down. I think now I just kind of need to draw his face, because the hair covers a lot, so there's not too much I gotta worry about. And what I think I'm gonna do is the outline here. I'm gonna do like the edge of the hair, and then the rest, the major lines that flow down. I think I'm gonna do that with coloring, because it's a really good design, and it's fun to do stuff like this because it flows really well. Let's see, I just gotta what's the word I'm looking for? To finalize, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. His face, you know, and then we can get started, because it's pretty close. I'm pretty close to what I'm doing here, or I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing here. I just need to get my flow down a little bit, and here I'm going to have a little fun with it and do some crazy whips. That's what I call the little dangly parts, my whippy hair. I have a friend who I grew up with that I always say stuff like that whenever I'm drawing hair, because it's got all whips, and he always says, "You and your whippy hair," you know. Let's see. So I'm gonna add a big bushy mustache like that, and then I'm just going to add some nostrils here. I'm just sketching it all out real quick, and then let's see, something like that ought to work. And I think that's good. I just want to draw some major parts that are definitely going to stand out with the ink, and then the rest, like I said, I'll do with coloring, you know. Okay, I think that's good. I think we can get started. Yeah, I think we're good. Double check everything. Okay, that's good. I'm going to get started. So I'm going to start off with some Sharpies. You're welcome to use a pencil or use a Sharpie as well. I'm going to use a Sharpie pen and a Sharpie fine point. The Sharpie pens for the fine stuff, like this face. I like to do that because I can control much easier than with that when I'm doing smaller things like this. So I'm going to start off with his eyelids, just to make sure I get them where I want them in the right place. And so now I can add some pupils. And again, I just kind of do this just to feel that, step back and say, okay, those are right. Those are, you know, level according to the position of the head. This head's pretty straightforward, so I don't have to worry too much about positioning, you know. And I'm not going to do too much here because I want to leave it open for coloring. Same thing with the eyebrows. I'm going to leave those alone because I want the coloring to take care of that. So I'm just going to kind of add parts for the nose, like the nostrils here. And then I think I'll add just a bit of a nose, a bridge line like that, just to give it something, you know, and then the coloring will take care of the rest. So now I'm going to kind of draw the outer edge of where his mustache is going to be. And I want to do that to be able to control the flow of this much easier than with a pen or with the big fat Sharpie, you know. And so I will do some lines like this just to define it, just to have some fun and some playfulness, but the rest I'm going to do with coloring, you know. So, oh, you know what, I didn't do much of a bottom lip, so let's kind of do something like this, and then I'm just going to do like that, and that'll kind of cut off his face at the bottom right there and let the hair do the rest. Okay, so let's draw some of these whips while I'm around here, and then I'll switch over to the big fat Sharpie and we'll see where we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of them like this just to control some of the fun stuff, you know, something like that. And the big fat Sharpie is going to kind of take over here in a second, so I'm going to thicken some of this up a little bit. And this is, like I said, pretty much just so I can control these edges, because that big fat Sharpie is about to take over. And I just want to be able to show some finesse. That's the best way to say it. Best way to put it. Okay. So something like that. And let's see, I think, how about we do a couple more like this, just to control where that's going. Now that I've got these edges controlled, I can come back with the big fat Sharpie and not be too worried about losing stuff here, because that's all I wanted, just some of these whips, you know, just to have some fun with it like this, you know, where I can't do something like that with the big fat Sharpie. Alright, so I'm going to switch over to the other Sharpie now, and I should be able to basically do the outline, because like I said, all those lines I want to do with color. So I'm just going to kind of play around with the outer edges. Okay, so I'm going to draw the outer edge of his hair like this, and I'm trying to be careful with it still so I can do some fun stuff here. See, and I don't want to do too much. I really want to start drawing these lines, but I don't want to go crazy with it yet. So I want his mustache to stand out, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let's see, follow it around like this, And let's see, let's follow it around like this. And let's see, I'll go ahead and do like that to kind of, there we go. Perfect. I like that. So as much as I want to draw those, I'm not going to. I'm just going to continue down here and draw this in front first, and everything will be back behind him. He looks like the Bigfoot right now, doesn't he? It's crazy. Okay, so let's just keep going and draw some crazy whips down here. So I'm going to come and follow this and just go whip. Something like that. Do another one like this. Not connect it. I'm just going to have a little bit of fun, you know? Like that. Whips. A little bit of whips. And I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I'm kind of looking at a picture, but rather than go over every single little line they have, I'm just going to kind of do a couple little crazy whips, you know? Some fun stuff. Alright. I'm not going to go too much. Something like that. Look, I did make it to a point there. So, if you made it to a point, great. I'm going to cover it up by making this into a point with the sharper Sharpie. And so see, like I said, I can control it much easier with this than trying to go back with that big fat Sharpie that's going to bleed all over the place. So that's all. I just want a little whip like that. And I gotta do more. I gotta do something, you know? So I'm just gonna kind of do a couple little whips like this. But see how thick versus thin this is? Kind of don't want it to go too crazy. I want to do them all in here, I really do, but I want to leave that for color. So I'm going to go ahead and just do something like that. And then how about, because I want to do something so bad, we'll do something like that, you know, because it's not all going to come to a point. You're going to have some stray hairs. So let's do something like this. Okay, so if we're good like that, see, I'm just where it's choppy, I'm just straightening that out. Alright, so let's leave that alone for coloring, and let's move on with the rest of his body. So now everything's back behind that, and that'll be much easier to draw. So let's go ahead and draw this arm since we're over here, and that'll disappear, and we'll finish up with that. So I'm going to draw his shoulder into his shirt, something like this. His shoulder into his shirt, because it's sleeveless, right? And so his arm is kind of tucked back behind his body. I did it like you can see it, but it's just habit. So there's his shoulder and his biceps back behind, and then his arm is going to come up right here because it's kind of tucked behind, his elbow is back behind by his waist. Okay, so his wrist is going to stop there, and then I draw the other part down here like this. He's got that arm, I guess it's a glove, but it's like an arm protector / communicator thing. And then we've got the rest of his hand here. So here's how we're going to do it. I sketched it out first, so I know the blocks. I know what we're going to do here, so I'm just going to follow back the back of the hand like this. And if it'll help you, we're going to draw the front of the hand and all the way around. Okay, so we're going to draw this meaty part right here. I'm going to bring it in like that. This meaty part right here. Going to string it around like that. And the thumb, see how it's kind of pointed at you? You can't really see too much, so we're just going to round it out like that. Pretty simple, right? So now we're going to, I want to follow the knuckles here, so I'm going to draw a couple of them where I know they're going to be. And I know the pinky's going to come up here like this, tuck in. I know it's over like that. There's a piece there, and then tuck in. See? That's pretty much it. Now we just got to draw the rest of them back behind that, like this. And this finger I want kind of up, like that. There. Boom. Booyah. Done. We're finished. So I'm just going to add the glove like that. Alright. Coloring will take care of the rest of that. So let's go ahead and work on this arm. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to do the shoulder. Let's see, we draw his shirt like that. We're going to do the shoulder to his sleeve like that. And his shirt's kind of ripped and torn like this. So now we can draw his sleeve, which is still there, but it's ripped too. So we'll draw like that. So now we're going to draw his bicep to his, shoulder to the bicep to the elbow of the arm down like this. Okay, so I'm going to draw another part of that sleeve back behind that, but I want to draw the arm first. So now I could draw the bicep to the arm, the forearm like this. And it's just going to be closed off with his hand hanging down. So there's the top of his glove right there on his wrist. And his thumb is coming out like this, back of his hands like this, thumb is hanging down like that, back of the hands going across, and we're just going to draw his fingers down like that. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy, just hanging down, you know. Okay, and again, he's wearing gloves, so we're going to go ahead and close that out. Alright, so now we're going to draw the rest of him. So we've got his waist like this, he's got the two belts like that, there's one, and then there's another one on his belt buckle like that. And so now we can draw his pants. And his pants, he's got that label that I'm going to do it with coloring, but I do want to accent it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is follow my sketch down to where I know it's going to be, bump it just a hair, then follow it again, and then bump it back in another hair. And so now when I color, it's going to be like that, and it's going to stand out. So it's just planning is basically what that is. Okay. So now I'm just going to follow his pants down to his knee, where it's tucked into his shin guard here. I can do the other side of his leg like this, and we'll go ahead and do the shin guard down to his foot. Okay. So the shin guards, that big metal piece like that, it comes out here like this. And again, I'm just kind of sketching it and playing around it, so don't worry if it's not exact. We know the basic idea like that. And so I'm going to add just a little bit of detail just to show that it's metal and that it's got sides, you know, something like that. Okay, and so his pants are kind of going behind it like that. Okay, and so now we're going to draw his feet, and I'll show you how to draw his feet together. So let's do the other side of his pants over here. You can see his little pouch hanging out like this on the side of his leg. We're going to bring his leg out like this. Jagged old pants because it's all ripped. He's got two straps going here, but I don't want to draw them with a Sharpie or it's going to mess that up, so we'll take care of that with coloring. So now I'm going to draw his legs. So I'm just going to draw his shin down to his foot like that, the back to his back of his foot like this. So I'm going to draw the heel of his foot, and then I'm going to come down, and that's where the toes are going to be. And so let me try to explain it to you like this. So you're going to have your heel down to the ball of your foot, where your toe is, ball of your toe, I guess. That's your heel and the ball. And so you're going to have your toe going up like this, and kind of like that. Okay. So your toe's up, but your big toe's up. The other ones are kind of down. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's the way you want to draw them. And so we're not going to draw everything because, again, it's kind of tiny with this, but we get the point across. Here it might make more sense. Watch. So we're going to draw he's got that silly little lace protector that everybody has, so we're going to make sure we draw that over his toes, and he's got bandages all over his feet like that, so we're going to draw that part for his ankles, and then it's up to there. And so his toe, it's going to be like this. You can see the top like that, and then his other ones are going to come down. You want to do something like this, and then you just round them off. And so see, that easy to draw toes. So yeah, so I think, you know what, I'm going to take care of the rest with coloring. So that is Bunker Jonesy. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.